everyone, welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to trade futures for beginners on Kucoin. All right, so as you guys can see, okay, I am now logged into Kucoin. Kucoin is by far one of my favorite applications when it essentially comes to cryptocurrency trading. I love its simplicity. I love how you can actually find, everything simply on these tabs that you basically see over here. This is by far one of my favorite cryptocurrency trading platforms, and today we are going to be sharing about how to trade futures for beginners on this particular platform. So as we can all see, okay, we've got various options here at the top. Now do remember that I have already logged in, okay, as you guys can see over there. I'm logged into Kucoin and I have already done my FICA verification. Okay. Now, one thing that is important for you guys, if you are getting started with Kucoin, just make sure that all of your details are on Kucoin, as you can see over there. Okay. So I have put two-factor authentication. I've bound my email, my phone number, as well as I enabled my Google verification. Okay. I've got my login password. I've got my trading password as well, which is something that is very important. I've plugged in my anti-phishing code, and I've essentially, got my security, set up for this particular application. So as we can all see, my security is quite high. Okay, so do make sure that when you are plugging in Kucoin, even before you use it, make sure that you've got your identity verified, and also make sure that your security details are absolutely accurate. Okay, now this is, by the way, very important for you guys, when you are essentially starting off. Okay, make sure that you've got high security, and make sure that you've also got identity verification for your Kucoin account. Okay, now there are certain things that I want us to look at. So after you've done your FICA verification, you'll then be eligible to be able to not only deposit but to withdraw funds from Kucoin without any restriction. Okay, so if you do have questions like these frequently asked questions, you can always tap onto this frequently asked question tab and just maybe get your answers over there. All right, so today I'm going to be obviously dealing with trading futures. Okay, so the first thing that I want to do is I want to make sure that even before I trade futures, I've essentially got assets, okay, into my futures account. Now there are two ways in which you can have assets into your future account, either by buying crypto through your card or through linking your card on this application, okay, and buying it directly from your card. So depending on how much you want to spend, you can spend however you want to spend, and then obviously it shows how much USDT you are going to get, or maybe any other coin that you would select. So maybe if you spend 10 US dollars, then they'll give you a certain amount of SHIB. Okay, if you spend 20 US dollars, then depending on this crypto that you've selected over here, USDT is obviously a stable coin, which is something that we often look at when we are trading, okay, which is your margin M futures. So that is what you want to select. That is essentially what you want to use when you are trading, okay. And then you simply go to your Visa or MasterCard. You can add your card over there, and you can see that there are other options. Okay, so if you click on add card, you can just simply put in your details, you add your card number, enter CVV, go to next, and be able to purchase crypto. All right, if you struggle with purchasing crypto using that option, you can always click on the deposit function. Okay, so as you will see, where I am at this particular moment in time, all you just have to do is you go to assets and then you click on deposit. Okay, And what you do is that you'll then be left with options in terms of what you can essentially select, depending on the cryptocurrency that you would want to deposit, right? So once you click on deposit, you can then click over here, and it will then take you to, which coin that you essentially want to deposit. Okay, so if you want to deposit USD Tether, for example, you can deposit USDT, from your other account. So depending on whether you're using Coinbase, if you had transferred money to Coinbase and bought cryptocurrency there, you could send it, to Kucoin by simply just clicking on deposit and clicking on the cryptocurrency that you would have wanted to withdraw from your other platform. Okay, if you're in South Africa maybe, and you were using Altcoin Trader, or you were using Luno, or whichever application that you're using to deposit funds from your bank account, and having maybe bought whatever crypto that you would have bought from Altcoin Trader after you deposited your funds from your bank account, you would have withdrawn your coins and then deposited them over here. So my favorite coin that I love to deposit, if I have put my funds in Altcoin Trader, I love to buy XRP from Altcoin Trader, then deposit XRP into my Kucoin account, and then I'll just simply convert the XRP in my Kucoin account to trade, convert it to USDT so that I can trade, with USDT. But if you wanted to deposit XRP, USDT, or say you wanted to deposit BTC, you would just simply click on BTC, and you would make sure that your network is absolutely correct. Okay, so when it comes to select network, then you could essentially use the networks that are available. So you can see here, TRX, TRC20 is unavailable, HECO is unavailable. So what I want to do, I want to select this BTC chain over there, right? So this is the network, obviously, that I'll be using. And then for this, I would essentially get my deposits, okay, in BTC, and as you can see, they will come into my funding account. Now you can always edit where you want them to come in, be it you want them to come into your funding account or you want them to come into your trading account. I always advise that if you want to trade, then you when you do deposit, they automatically come into your trading account, because if you do deposit them into your funding account, you would need to transfer them again to your trading account if you wanted to trade. So as to whether you wanted to trade futures or you wanted to trade on spot, you would essentially, need to have your crypto deposited, into your trading account. Okay. So once that is done, then your cryptocurrency would essentially reflect over here. So what I want to do, because I have deposited BTC, okay, or rather because I have already deposited XRP, now what I want to do is I want to take my XRP that I deposited and I want to exchange it into USDT. Okay, so the simplest thing I would do is I would select this option here on trade, and then I would simply click on convert. Okay, now convert would obviously be the easiest way to trade, and I would convert the coins that I had. So I can already see that I have XRP over here, which is 29.63782 XRP, which amount to 280 rands, which is just about 15 US dollars or somewhere over there. Okay, then I would essentially click on max, and what I want to do is I want to be able to get USDT. So what I simply just do is that I go here and then I type in USDT. So what this is going to do is that it is going to convert my XRP for USD Tether. Okay, so so this is what I want to do. Then I just simply go on max. Okay, let me just turn it around again, and I can already see that I'm going to be getting 14.71487 USDT. Okay, so for this amount of XRP, this is the amount of USDT that I am getting. Right, so then I just simply click on confirm, and then I confirm my order. Okay, so it says that the funds have been transferred to your trading account, and if I just click on view order, I can go and I can just simply view that order. Okay, so what Kucoin is going to do for me is that it's going to, essentially show me my order. And as you can see over here, I moved them my XRP from my funding account, to my trading account. Okay, now that is what I would want to do if I wanted to, deposit some funds so that I could essentially, be able to trade. Okay, now if I click on this markets tab, before I move on to the next section, you can see that, this is the markets overview. And what I like about this tab is that, it gives you trending coins. It also gives you top gainers as well as top losers that you would essentially be getting over there. Okay, and then all of this, down here is also, one of the, the top, crypto coins basically that you'd, see on these tabs. So KuCoin, Market Watch, and you can see BTC, Ethereum, BNB, XRP, CRO, ADA, all of these, all of these top coins over there, right? So you can also select, by way of, wanting to look at, your own specifics. If you wanted to delve into specifics, maybe say you wanted to look for meme coins, then you can just simply click on meme, and then you can see all the meme coins and how they performed. So you can see Doge, you can see Shape, you can see Pepe, Baby Doge, Flocky, Doge Elon, and you can see DC, which is Doge Chain. You can select projects on the Solana ecosystem over there, which is, Solana, RNDR, AR, Luna, C98, Ren, and these are, also very, good projects when it comes to the Solana ecosystem. Then we've got the Cosmos ecosystem over there. And you can see that there are so many options that you can have over there to basically select which coin maybe you would want to look at. So say, for example, now you wanted to look at coins that are, DeFi project. Okay, as you can see over there, it explains, what DeFi is over there. Okay, so it just gives you a brief explanation of DeFi. Okay, to say that decentralized finance, also known as distributed finance or decentralized finance, refers to the use of decentralized protocols to build an open financial system designed to allow anyone in the world to access financial services without limitations of space and time. Okay, so you can basically see that, these are, all the DeFi projects that they've essentially mentioned. And if I go to details over there, of this AVAX that I've basically tapped into, they give me, a bit of detail in terms of, what is, how you can buy Avalanche, or which is AVAX, how much is one Avalanche, is AVAX a good advance investment, how to stake AVAX, and these are just, some of the nicer, details that you can essentially tap into when you do want to look for a specific cryptocurrency that you would want to trade. All right, so I then would want to, if I wanted to start trading, I want to come here and I want to come where it says either futures overview. So if I click on derivatives, for example, so what this will do is that it will give me a futures, overview. Okay, and you can basically see that, this is, the futures leaderboard, for example, by way of top gainers, volume, and popular over there. Okay, you can see, all of these projects or the products that KuCoin offers. You've got USDT margin contracts, USDC margin contracts, coin margin contracts, and as well as, the futures grid boards over there. So this would be obviously a futures overview if you wanted to look at that. Okay, and then if you click on, USDS margin contracts, you can just simply click onto that, and then they will take you to this particular tab where you would basically see your trading screen. Okay, now this for me is where I want to go to, because this is, by way where I would want to look at my trading if I am trading futures or derivatives. Okay, now you can basically see that, this is, again, you know, you have all of these options over here. So right over here, you've got all coins, and these are, you know, most trending coins basically that you would have over there. And you can see they tell you what the price of WLD perpetual. Okay, now when you are trading futures, do note that you will be trading perpetual contracts. Okay, that is what you want to trade. You want to trade perpetual contracts, you know, to the USDT. Okay, so if ever you're looking for a project, just make sure that it is perpetual. So if you're trading BTC, it's going to be BTC perpetual. If you're trading Solana, it's going to be Solana perpetual, TRP, and as well as Ethereum perpetual over there. Okay, so the project that I obviously want to look at is BTC perpetual. All right, so you can see over here that this is where you would, you know, select the leverage. Okay, so this is where you could essentially adjust, you know, the leverage for the crypto that you want to look at trading. Okay, then you've got your limit order, you've got your market order, and then you've got your limit stop, as you can basically see over there. And then you've got, you know, the price, what is, you know, the loss price of the project that you are looking at, and then you've got the amount that you would essentially want to trade. Here you can essentially adjust your take profit as well as your stop loss. And then you've got, you know, reduce only. And this is where you could also look at either buy, which is too long, and sell, which is too short. Okay, so what I want to do for this particular example, okay, before I even delve into that, right here at the bottom, you've got positions, open order, stop order, realized, P&L. P&L remains unrealized if you have not closed your trades, and it becomes realized after you have essentially closed your trades. Okay, and I think that that is, you know, very important to mention. And then you also will see, you know, your order history right there at the bottom, in terms of the project that you are looking at. Okay, so I want you to look at where it says USDT total assets and where it says unrealized P&L. So this would be, you know, your unrealized profit or loss, as you can basically see down there. Okay, so I want to click on transfer. Right now, what I want to do is I want to transfer. Remember, what we did was that we had these you know, we had my crypto in the trading account, and we managed to buy USDT. So what I essentially want to do is that I want to take my USDT from my trading account to my futures account, because that is where I want to trade. So currently you can see my balance in USDT total assets is 0. Okay, I've got 0.01 USDT in total assets, right? So I want to make sure that I put in, you know, USDT, so that I could be able then, you know, to trade. So what I'll do is I'll click on transfer, and then I'll move my USD tether from my trading account all the way, you know, to my futures account, as we basically see over there. Okay, so it says that I must enter the transfer amount. So I will come here, and then I will enter the transfer amount. So I just click on, you know, this button on the left of my mouse, or the left of your laptop, and then, you know, by just clicking where it says available, and on that balance over there. Okay, and then I click on confirm. All right, and then by clicking on confirm, now I have essentially got you know, USDT, which is USDT of 14.71 you know, USDT in my trading account. Okay, now this is very important, okay, because what I'm going to mention here is absolutely important. So you can see that my chart is, you know, my BTC chart is still loading. So I'm just going to refresh, you know, that, so that it at least loads faster. Okay, cool. So now I've refreshed it. Okay, so here's what you'll see on the top left hand side of the screen. This is where you get to be able to select everything that you would, you know, want to you know, or a coin that you would essentially want to trade. Okay, so I've got my BTC perpetual. Now, remember, I said that we look at, you know, the perpetual contracts. Okay, and the very nice thing is that, you know, here on the left. Okay, so I'm just quickly going to go through this, and then yeah, we'll take things from there. All right, but as the previous video that I did, you know, on my channel, I taught about trading view. So your Kucoin, you know, comes with you know, an already built-in trading view, which I think is very cool, you know, which is quite a cool you know, tool to basically have. Okay, so this is where you would you know, have your cursors. This is where you would have your trend lines, you know, and so forth. Okay, there you've got your GAN box and your fib tools. There you know, you've got your shapes, your rectangles, you've got your brush. There you've got, you know, your text and, you know, your ways of annotation over there, which is also quite nice. And then you've essentially you know, got long forecasting tools over there, which is also quite cool. So this is essentially trading view that is built, you know, inside of this app, which I think is absolutely great. Okay, I basically love, you know, the feature because it helps you to you know, it helps you to chart in terms of if you wanted, for example, to analyze, you know, BTC, and say you wanted, you know, to maybe take out a trend line and, you know, just to draw a trend line. Okay, you can essentially you know, do it on this particular app where now you've got your trend line. Okay, and you can obviously change the, by double clicking onto it, you can change the how thick it is. You know, you can, you know, change a lot of things. You can extend it, you know, to the left, you can extend it to your right, you can show distance, show angle, you know, which is exactly what you know, the normal trading view app does. Okay, so what I love to do is I love to use trading view. Okay, so I love to go onto trading view and you know, search for trading view, search or analyze on trading view, and then come back to Kucoin. Okay, so say for example, now I was you know, going to, you know, analyze BTC perpetual. So what I would do is I would go to my trading view, and after going to my trading view, okay, I would make sure that I select my broker as Kucoin. So I would add, you know, my symbol, and then let's say I look for BTC USDT, okay, because that is what I want. I see BTC USDT, and then I would select Kucoin, which as a broker. So it is already pre-selected over there. So when I do analyze, you know, a BTC, the same chart that I see over here for BTC is the same chart that I would, you know, basically see when I come back to my Kucoin. So you want to make sure that your exchange, you know, or the broker that you're using, you know, is that of where you are trading. Okay, so this is why part of the reason why I love both of, you know, the trading view on Kucoin and the normal trading view. Okay, so you can see this is, you know, the chart, and then when you click on depth, you can see that this is, you know, the depth of the market between you know, buyers and sellers over there. Okay, so cryptocurrency exchanges like this one, for example, are very, very important. Okay, so when you do plug in, okay, you will have your trading view, which is absolutely brilliant, and then, you know, you would want to select your pair. Okay, so which pair are you going to look at selecting? So if you're trading BTC USDT, that is the pair that you would want to select. Okay, now if I wanted to add on another pair, I could definitely add on another pair you know, over here. So if I click on Solana over here, this gives me, you know, the Solana chart that I can see. And the most, you know, beautiful thing about this, okay, is that if you click on these 4 boxes, okay, say now by the way, I can actually you know, view 4 contracts, which is absolutely beautiful. So I can view Solana, and maybe I can add a contract. And remember, what we want to select is we want to select USD USD SM futures, not Coin M futures. Okay. Now that is obviously a training that I'm going to do for another day, but USD SM futures is what you essentially want to create. And you can basically, either by way search or, select these ones that, over here. So depending on which one you want to trade. Okay. And what you can essentially do, let's say we wanted to look at SUI, we'll just simply click on SUI over there. And then now SUI would be added to my data window. Okay. So if I then click on these 4 boxes over here, and then I click on where it says ×1 again, you can see that, it shows my SUI. So this is, SUI USDT, and this is the chart of XUI USDT. Okay. And over here, you basically see the price of SUI, and this is, your volume indicator. So you can essentially, if you want to, remove this volume indicator, you don't really need to use it. You can remove it anytime that you would essentially want, to remove it. Okay. Now, say I wanted to remove this volume indicator, for example, then this is where I would basically click. So now my volume indicator is, essentially removed. And if I click on indicators over there, then I could, add whatever indicator that I wanted to add over there, which is very nice. So if I wanted to say, I want to select MACD, for example, which is the moving average convergence divergence, which is an indicator that people like to use, see if the market has been overbought or oversold, and, look at some crossovers. Then maybe you would want to look at moving average, convergence, divergence, and by way of looking at your moving averages and how, these, basically these lines, cross over and converge and diverge to basically determine, market direction. Okay. So this is by way, adding one indicator, and then maybe I could click on there, and then I could add another indicator, for example. So now let's say I select Bollinger Bands, for example, then I click on Bollinger Bands. See, now I've got, 2 indicators on screen that I've added. Okay. So I've got, my Bollinger Bands, and you can clearly see them on my chart. I've added them over there. And then secondly, you have got your MACD. I've essentially added it over here. Okay. And if I wanted to remove this, I can then just simply click on X. Okay. And if I wanted to remove my Bollinger Bands, I could click on X over there again, and I could, remove my Bollinger Bands, right? So this is, how you can obviously swift and navigate, through looking at the chart that you want to look at. All right. So you can basically see over here, the first tab is 0.4456 in terms of what the price is, and it tells you about the percentage change within the past 24 hours. So the percentage change would be minus 3.29. So this project has literally gone down at this particular time by minus 3.29, which is where you see your price. Okay. So this is a very, very beautiful tab to essentially look at. And then you have essentially got other things. You've got mark price, index price, and then you've got your volume. Okay. You've got your open interest, your funding rate, and then you've also got your funding settlement, which is something that we, might look at this video, or we might essentially explain, on the next video for more details in terms of, what do these, what does the funding rate mean? What is open interest? What is the mark price? So forth. Okay. So this is, by the first tab, I want you to focus on this price. This is the first, this is the current price. And, this is obviously, the percentage change that we basically see over there. All right. So now what I want us to do, I basically want us to go all the way to the right hand side, okay, which is over here. So there are different orders that you can essentially, or by way of execution, there are different ways that you can look at executing the market. Okay, so I'm just gonna obviously look at going through these, and then I'm going to look at going through this over here. Okay, so let me start by order book. Okay, now the question is, what is an order book? Okay, so an order book is a separated list of buys, or what we call bids, okay, and sells, what we would essentially call asks. Okay, so you can see right over here, these are your bids, and here at the bottom, these are your asks. Okay, so this would be your buys, and then these would basically, be your sell. Okay, so it's a separated list of buys and sells, or bids or asks. Okay, open orders for a specific pair. Okay, so the order book, which is what you'd see over here, this would be your sells, this would be your buys for the pair that we are looking at. So which currency pair are we looking at, or cryptocurrency pair? We are looking at SUI perpetual, to the USDT. Okay, so it can be identified as a marketplace that anyone can join by placing a bid if they want to buy an asset, or asking price for a price if they are going to sell it. Okay, so what this is basically, a marketplace where if you want to buy a project, this is basically where you would place your, or where your buys would essentially, reflect. And if you wanted to sell this project, this is basically where your sales would, reflect, for this particular asset. Okay, so the open orders, as you basically see, okay, stay in the order book until it's cancelled, or someone accepts the bid or agrees to pay the asking price for a specific asset in case of a sale. So if these guys are buying, then they must buy from these guys that are selling. And if these guys are selling, then they sell they see it. What you want to look at is, you want to make sure that, you buy, at the lowest possible price, and you sell, at the maybe highest that you can, that the buyer is willing to buy at. Okay, so if you are a buyer, okay, you want to buy to the guy that is selling. So you want to buy, this asset, which is SUI, at the lowest possible price that you can get, of which the lowest possible price that you can get is this one. So these prices, they increase from low all the way to high, as you can see, right, in chronological order. And these ones over here at the bottom, they increase from low all the way to high in from high all the way to low in chronological order. Okay, so if I am a buyer, I want to buy from the guy who is selling as low as possible, of which this is the guy that is selling as low as possible. And if I'm a seller, I want to sell from the guy who's buying as high as possible. So this is the guy who's buying as high as possible. Okay, and now this is where you'd basically now see your current market price of this or loss price, basically, of this particular asset. Okay, so that is what an order book is, and this is how these order books basically work. All right, so if you then come on to this section of, okay, so in your common order types, for example, you've got an order book, which is part of your common order types. You've got a market order, which is here. You've got a limit order. You've got a limit stop order. Okay, there's also a stop order, and then there's also a stop loss order. Okay, so this one is, obviously we've got three options over here. You've got the limit, we've got the market, and then we've got the stop. This is where you basically get your leverage. Okay, so leverage is essentially by way money, if I would put it that way, that you can essentially look at borrowing in brackets, so that you can be able to earn more from the value of your amount that you have, that you are basically trading with. Okay, so you could increase this leverage to 5x, you could increase this leverage to 10x. Okay, so the more increased your leverage is, the more percentage you will be making from your funds. Okay, and also the more leverage you increase, if you are at a loss, then the more loss you would incur. So the guy that is having a 10x leverage or trading with a 10x leverage is much more safer than the guy who's using 30x leverage. Okay, so you always want to make sure that you don't over leverage. If you want to use leverage as a tool to basically help increasing your capital, then by all means, that is absolutely, or by way of maybe extending, your returns, then by all means. But, you don't want to over leverage. Okay, and I always say this, one of the most important things, or one of the things that cause people to fail in trading a lot of the time, okay, is when they over leverage, when they don't use proper risk management. And somebody once said that if you are a professional trader, then you must know how much you are going to make or how much you are going to lose even before you get into that position. Okay, so using leverage can essentially help you to make much more money than you would have without leverage, but then again, at the same time, it could cause you then to lose, and hence why you need then to look at your risk to reward. Okay, now what is a risk to reward? A risk to reward, would then be the measure that compares your potential profit of a trade, okay, to its potential loss. That is basically what a risk to reward is. Okay, so risk to reward is, calculated by dividing the difference between the entry point, okay, of a trade and the stop loss order, which is the risk. So by the difference between the profit target and the entry point, which is the reward. Okay, so risk is basically the total potential loss established by a stop loss order. Okay, so it is the difference between the entry point for a trade and the stop loss order. That is what risk is. Now, when you're defining your reward is essentially a total, is the total potential profit. So, and it is established by profit target. Okay, so this is the point at which a security is sold, right? So the reward is the total amount you could gain from a trade. It is the difference between the profit target as well as the entry point. All right, so we're just going to obviously look at delving into this, and then we are obviously maybe going to also look at time in force order. Okay, so back to common order types. Now we've got a market order, we've got a limit order. So I want to start off with a market order. So I'm just going to click on market order, right? And as you can see, I've got my available balance in USDT as we have it over there. Okay, so what is a market order? A market order is basically a command to buy or sell an asset at the price currently available on the market. Okay, so if you are buying or you are selling this particular asset, so say now I'm on SUI and I want to buy or I want to sell SUI. Okay, it is a command to buy or sell SUI or this asset that I'm looking at the price currently available on the market. So I'll then look, what is the price available on the market? The price available on the market, as I see it, is 0.4463. So if I'm executing on market order, what I'm doing is that I am buying SUI at its price of 0.4463. Okay, that is what I would select as my market order. Okay, and is the most basic type of trading order. So above all of the trading orders that you have, this is the most basic type of trading order where you can trade on what we then call as instant execution, which is very important. So if you're placing a trade yourself via an online platform, for example, like Kucoin, that we are using over here, okay, hitting the buy or sell button generally fulfills or executes the order immediately. So if I come and I click, I click buy or sell, having obviously determined how much I'm going to, buy, how much SUI I'm going to buy, or maybe if I click on say 25%, then I would, look at 25% of cap. So I want to essentially buy 40 SUI, for example. And if I look at say 50% or 75 or 100%. Okay, and we can see this is approximately how much it is, you know, going to cost me over there in terms of the quantity that I would have actually looked. Okay, so this executes an order immediately, and a market order will execute at the nearest ask price. So if I'm buying, you know, okay, so we're at the nearest ask price, which means that this, as we said, is the ask for the sell, and this is the bid for the buy. So if I'm buying, my order would be executed at the nearest ask price, and then if I'm selling, my order would be executed at the nearest bid price. Okay, so ask price is what someone is willing to sell for. Remember, okay, ask price what someone is willing to sell for, and bid price is what someone is essentially willing to buy for. Okay, now this is, you know, obviously by and large absolutely important. Okay, now here's another thing that I should mention that is important. Okay, so when you are dealing with trading futures on perpetual contracts, what you want to do is that you don't want to trade, you know, through the coin itself, right? You want to trade using USDT, okay, which is a stable coin, okay? Because what would happen is that if I was to trade, you know, SU itself, you know, as the, you know, currency, what would happen is that my profit and my loss would be determined in SU, but I want my profit and my loss to be determined in USDT. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to remove this SU, and you can see that this is trading by amount. So the order that I would have placed is an order placed according to the amount of SUI that I have. So in this case, I bought USDT, and I don't want to trade with SUI. I would rather trade, you know, with the stable coin, so that even if I you know, am, you know, in profit or whatever, it can be determined in a stable coin perspective. Okay, so what I'll do is I don't want to trade by lot, neither do I want to trade by amount, but I want to trade by value. So if I click on trading by value, this is an order is placed using the total order value in USDT. The required margin is calculated as the total value divided by the leverage. So I'll click on by value, and then I'll click on confirm. Okay, so this means now that if I click on 25%, this is, I can see, for example, okay, it gives me the total value. Okay, and this is obviously the amount of available, you know, USDT that I basically have over here. Okay, so for example, I want to trade you know, by value. I don't want to trade by amount, and then I just simply you know, click over there. Okay, so if I wanted to use all of my USDT to basically trade, let me just show you guys something. If I wanted to trade with all my USDT, then I would come here, and then I would place say 14.71 USDT. Okay, so this 14.71 USDT gives me about 32 SUI. So this basically means that now I can trade, you know, with this whole amount, and I could basically chop and change. If I wanted to trade, say 7 USDT, which is, you know, almost half of this, then I would have then this would obviously be 15 SUI. Okay, so that is how it works. So I always want to trade you know, by value. I don't want to trade by amount, neither do I want to trade by lot. I always want to look at trading by value. All right, so before we actually proceed, let us go to what is a limit order. Okay, so a limit order is a command to buy or sell an asset at a specific price. Now this is obviously very nice, because then it tells you in terms of what price you would want to, you know, buy you know, an order, or you would want to buy a specific you know, or sell, you know, a specific asset that you are looking at. Okay, so remember, a limit order is a command to buy or sell an asset at a specific price, or better if possible. Okay, either a specific price or better if possible. So a buy limit order is a transacted, okay, now listen, this is very important. A buy limit order is transacted at the limit price or lower. Okay, is transacted at the limit price or lower. All right, now, which is absolutely critical. Okay, while a sell limit order is executed at a limit price or higher. Okay. However, limit orders are not guaranteed to execute. Okay, remember, because we are basing it on the system of order book. So a limit order will only be filled if the market price of an asset reaches the limit price. Okay, so if the order of the asset does not reach the limit price, then the limit price will essentially not be filled. So although limit orders don't guarantee that your order will be fulfilled, they are useful because they can ensure that you do not pay more or receive less than a specific set price. Okay, than a specific set price, which is absolutely very, very important, and absolutely very, very critical when you are looking at placing your trades. Okay, so if I, for example, have a limit order, or if I'm placing a limit order and I'm placing my buy limit order, okay, so what would essentially happen, say now I have this area, for example, over here, which would be my order block, and then what I would basically do, I would come to my rectangle and mark off my order block. All right, so this is where I would basically mark off the area that I would have wanted to buy this crypto at. Now what I would be waiting for is the market to at least come down to this level and then to react to this level and then go to the upside. Okay, so what I would do is that I would, by and large, make, my life very, very simple, by essentially coming into, say these trend lines, for example, and essentially, marking off. So say, for example, now, I determine that, this coin will come, here, and then after coming here, and then it will, run, to the upside. Okay, so if I was then putting my limit order, for example, I would put my buy limit order at 0, say when it taps into this area at 0.4362, for example. Okay, so I would place my buy limit order at 0.4362. So I would click the price that I want to execute. So 0.4362, for example, as I've written there, and then I'll type in, the amount of USDT that I would, want to spend according to the USDT that I have. I wanted to spend the full amount. I would then click on 1471. Okay, now this is how I would basically do it. So remember, a buy limit order is transacted at a limit price or lower, okay, of which this would be my limit price that I would set it. So when the market comes into this area over there, it must then execute my order, and then it must run up with my order. Okay, so same thing, same scenario for sell. This is how I would basically look at my cells, right? So if I had this as a from a large range move to the upside, and then I had this this move from this particular expansion down, okay, and then say, for example, I was just doing a bit of my TA and I wanted to have my horizontal array, and I said that this is a low that I would basically look at as my point of neckline. So what I'd be waiting for is to trade higher, either come back into this area of interest over here, called the fair value gap, which is either come to this point of interest over here. So where the market taps into this, then I'll basically look for, opportunities, to enter a short. But if I was looking strictly at this particular order block over here, I would look at, this particular level, which would obviously be at a level, if I were to look at this range to the upside, this would be what I would then look at as an optimal, trade entry. Then what I would just simply do is I would mark, this off. So what I'm expecting for is, if I want to place a sell limit order, then I would wait for price essentially to come to this area, and after coming into this area, tap into that area and maybe continue shorting to look for discounted prices. And for those that trade with trend lines, this would obviously be buying away, looking at a double top. Okay, as you can basically see over there, right? So if I would place a sell limit order, this is obviously an order that would be executed at the limit price or higher. So limit price is over here or higher than that. So what I'm saying is, if price gets to 0.4649, my order must be executed. Then I would essentially go here and I would say 0.46, okay, according to what I've written over there, 46 let's say 0.4649, as I've put it over there, and then I would enter the amount. So if I've got $14, if I wanted to trade with my $14, then I'll just type in 14.71 if I wanted to go full margin on this one, and then I would have 14. So with this $14, the market must execute with this whole amount when it gets to this level. Okay, this is how a limit order works. But if I was to take a market order, I'm saying that where price is over here, let the market either execute a buy or a sell immediately. Okay, where price is over here. So limit orders are very nice because they help you. You can be doing something else, and if you've got your stop that is set properly, for example, then you can be doing something else and then your order, can be executed. You don't essentially need to be there in order for your trade to be executed, which is, why I would, love, using this feature of your limit order. Okay. So say, for example, now, I am placing a market order and I want to buy, I want to looking at, what is currently happening in the market over here. Say, for example, now I wanted to buy SUI. Okay. So say I was, looking at the market and I wanted to buy SUI, over here. What I would then simply do is I would buy at current price. So if I wanted to go full margin, I would full margin. If I say I wanted to use $10, for example, for this, then I would use, or say I wanted to sell, and then I'll just use place $10 over there. And then what I would then want to do is that after I placed my $10, then you've got your TP or stop loss for a long, and then you've got your TP and your stop loss for a short, okay, which is, by and way, very nice. So here you can basically set your take profit, for a sell, and you can take your, take profit for a, and stop loss for a long, which is a buy, and here would be take profit or stop loss, for a short, which is a sell. Okay, so you can basically place all of this, and you can just let the market, do what it does. If it does, kick you out or stop you out, and that's totally fine, because it happens. All right. And then we've got, other obviously different kinds of orders. And here you've got a limit stop or a stop limit order. So basically a stop limit order is an order to buy or sell a stock that combines, the features of a stop order as well as a limit order. Okay, so this is actually very nice. So once the stop price is reached, okay, a stop limit order becomes a limit order. Okay, that will be executed at a specific price or better. Okay, so the benefit of a stop limit order is that the investor can control the price at which the the order can be executed. Okay, so a lot of the time, this is it's also a very or quite a nice feature that you would basically want to use in terms of executing, these kind of orders over there. Okay, so this is obviously, you can, this would be your amount. And what you are basically saying for this is that once price gets to, your stop price, it must then execute, an order at at a particular price that you would have set. Okay, so this is basically what that means. But the most popular ones that people use are the limit orders, as well as the market orders over there. Okay, so say now I wanted to come and put my market order. So I would come put my market order at $10, for example, and then after placing it at $10, I would put my stop loss at, on my swing high, which would be 0.446. So then I'll say TP and stop loss for short, because I'm going short. Okay, so let me just click on all of that, and then I click on OK. So then I would set my take profit. Say my take profit would be 0.4419. If I had that is my take profit, so I would set it at 0.4483. Okay, 0.4483. 0.83. All right. So then this basically, tells me my maximum short, maximum long, cost, and the cost. Okay. And remember, I am buying this at $10. Then I would then place my order, and I would then click on, sell short. Okay. So I would click on sell short over there, and then it tells me, my liquidation price, which is 0.4497. And then I click on sell. I enter my investor password, place my order to go short. Then I can see, because I placed a market order, okay, which is the instant execution order, for this particular trade. I placed my stop loss over here, and also placed my take profit all the way down over here, because I was shorting. Okay. And you can basically see it says that woohoo, you have the position after an order is filled, the P&L position. Okay. And as you can see, it's perpetual, the amount, the value, the value, which is say $9.79. I've got my entry price, my mark price, and then I've also got my liquidation price. Okay. Now this over here is where I'd get my margin leverage. So my leverage for this SUI project was on 5x, as you guys can see over there. So it is on 5x, as you can see over there. And so down here, as I've alluded, this is where you would now get all of your information. Okay, so this is your unrealized P&L. So once I decide to close this position, and then it would be realized. Okay, so for example, here you can basically see that I'm on 5 and 5x leverage. Okay, and unrealized P&L is minus 0.22, and then I have got my position over here, which is a position that I can basically close. So it says you can close your current position using a limit order or market order in the opposite direction. Okay, so if I wanted to close, I'll just click on market order, and then my trade would essentially be closed on SUI at this particular moment in time. Okay, so this is how you can do it. And you can also buy in way if you wanted to extend your screen over here, and if you maybe wanted to look at this from if you wanted to look at this, for example, you could essentially extend your screen, which is absolutely phenomenal, because then now you'd have your trading view for this project SUI. Okay, and it's very, very great, because then you don't actually need to go onto the actual trading view. This is where you could essentially look at doing everything, all right, by basically extending that. And say, for example, now you wanted to remove these lines because you wanted a more clearer chart, and you wanted to remove these averages over there. You can just either click on the X to delete them in totality, or you can click on this I over here. Okay, so what this I over here, see, and it removes them for you. Okay, which is absolutely beautiful, how we look at things and how we would look at this. Okay, so if I wanted to maybe minimize my screen again, you can see right on there, I would go to the top of my screen, and then I would click on exit full screen over there. Now I have essentially exited my full screen view, and I've gone back to seeing what is ultimately happening over here. Okay, so this is how you would look at trading futures as a beginner. Okay, on Kucoin, guys. Actually very interesting.